11. We got a great episode of Paleocrat Diaries for you. A lot of great topics. And I feel badly in a way because yesterday it was just right out of the gate. I said, normally we talk about funny things and funny memes, and we did a little bit of that at the end, just a little eatsy, but we didn't cover any funny stories. And I thought, it's morning time, and sure, everybody was riled up. Everyone was all, they had an opinion yesterday, and I think that people may have spoken too soon. Because, as we will discover, there was a reason why the Biden campaign at the last minute said, we're not doing that whole testing for electronics in the ear thing. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. But boy, oh boy, these people are not good at makeup. They are not good at hiding what they're doing. And maybe they don't care, right? Maybe they don't care, and they're pulling the Inspector Gadget thing, trying to help old Joe, trying to help Corona Joe make it. But the thing is, it's got to say something, bro. Look, you decide. You look, you see, you decide. Did Brother Man cheat or what? Oh my gosh. Yes. The art of the meme in the comment section. And of course, remember, this has a live chat. You may not see it the entire time. Sometimes I'll have it on. Sometimes I won't. In fact, I'll just show you right now. That way you can see. Okay, right here. Now, you can see some of the comments. Not all of them, but you can see some of them. And this happens in real time. So if you're on Facebook, or you're on YouTube, or you're on Periscope, wherever you happen to be watching this, if you comment, it will come to me. You may not see other people's comments. Although, I'll tell you, what is it now? What do we change it to? HFM American Media, right? That's Holy Faith TV. You got to go there. There was a whole bunch of comments in real time. It's just awesome. That comment section, I got to say, you guys are really great. I love you. And Facebook, too, over at my personal Facebook page. A lot of people were commenting over there. And of course, there's a couple different rooms primarily dedicated to prayer and to masses and things like that will also play occasionally great episodes like this, great shows like mine. Right? It's good for the family. In fact, tomorrow I'm trying to figure out things like, Throwback Thursday. I was thinking, well, maybe we could do Throwback Thursday with this, and I said, well, no, I'm not going to do that. But I thought, what about Breastfeeding Friday? Right? Because we got a bunch of moms that watch this show. I know it. They've reached out to me. They have talked to me. They've let me know. Okay. And so we're gonna do, I don't know, something like that. We got to figure it out. Meme Monday. I don't know. We'll do something special. But the thing is, like Art of the Meme said, the Bongino rule. You got to wait. Okay. Because what we found was that there was a bunch of weirdness going on with old Joe. Things that, to be honest, he and his followers must explain. It's not even like, maybe. No. You must explain this. What's up with the weird tape over the ear? Point number one. I said, well, I don't know. Maybe he got a scratchy-watchy on his ear. Got something that looked like it wasn't a Band-Aid, It was kind of this thing. Say, well, what's that all about? And then you say, well, wait a second. What's that on his wrist? You had this thing on his wrist. Bro was like Inspector Gadget. I wear bracelets, right? I got it. 3 of them here. And lest any of the conspiracy theory people think about this red one, this is the What Would Jesus Do bracelet. It's not some Kabbalah stuff. Okay. But he had these metallic pieces. And they weren't, it's like, what are they called? What are are they chunky bracelets? What are they called? Where they've got all the different little shapes and symbols and things. The ladies were wearing them. It was like one of those, a charms bracelet. It was like one of those, except it looked really kind of spy tech stuff. And there was a part on the front and a part on the back. And when he lifted his arm, it would go down like that. And then he's tucking, here's a scene. It's TV, so yes, a scene. This is pageantry. But he would do this, and he moved his hand, and man, there's a freaking wire. He's wearing a wire. What's that wire for, bro? So you've got the creepy ear, you've got the wire, and you've got the weird stuff around his arm. That's not a bracelet. It's not a bracelet. What is it? And then what's up with his eyes? Did you even see his eyeballs? I mean, look, take a picture of his eyes on a normal day. And then go and look at, you can see zoomed up, close up shots. He's been around for a long time. And then go ahead and look at his eyes. And I know people are like, oh man, it looks really dilated. No, it doesn't. You can see it in other ones. It looks brown. It's dark. That's why you think it looks dilated. It's not. But the question is, it's kind of weird how you had an eye change, man. What's going on with that? All these things together, dude, as far as I'm concerned, I think that there is compelling reason to believe that they wired him up. Wouldn't be surprising, but this would be 2 candidates in a row. And what's up with all the Democratic candidates being hobbled out like on their last legs? Nancy Pelosi, come on. You know, people have done videos talking about the way that she talks and keeps her mouth really open and you can see her teeth. And there's a reason why that happens. Her whole Sunday morning thing with Dorf Stephanopoulos. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Crazy. In the comment section, truthfully, I wouldn't have been shocked if Biden lifted his arm and a bird flew out like some Naked Gun movie. That would have actually made it more entertaining, to be honest. And I'm actually shocked. I am shocked at the polls. I mean, you guys heard. I told you my opinion. I've thought that America has seen better days than that particular debate. And I thought Trump did too. Come to find out, a lot of people happen to have liked it. I mean, look, the numbers, C-SPAN, the numbers, Telemundo. We got those numbers coming out. It's amazing. It's amazing. I started to wonder if Trump really is a time traveler. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Carol Danino wrote, he was on some great medication that night. Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, and he got some Botox done. You can tell. But the Botox has made his teeth look like Mojo from the comic book Spawn. Kind of creepy. But all right, let's get into it right away. We got to do this. Okay, it's going to be a bunch of fun. Let's go ahead and put the news up here. Boom. Okay. I saw this. Oh, no. Is it going to make it difficult for me to go ahead? Okay, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, herd of charging cows in England kill man in month, right? So you have herd of charging cows in England kill second man. I'm so sorry about that. Second man in a month. And let's see if we can get this graphic up a little bit higher. That drives me nuts when I see that. Okay, news. Oh, yeah, whatever. There we go. Okay, window capture. See, here's the thing. When you use OBS, when you use it, you got to figure out, you know, there's like certain techniques that you've got to do in order. You'll see this. Watch. In real time. Oh, look at that. Boom. That makes it a lot easier. Because that was going to drive me nuts, all not centered like that. It's already bad enough that there's all these commercials all over the place. Yeah, man. Oh. David Rice says the Democrats are scared out of, I'm not going to say that word, but I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think they are, man. And they're going to have to answer this. Yeah, Brian says, I'd probably be more shocked if he wasn't wired. Dylan Corner, what are those numbers? We'll go ahead and we'll look at that. We'll go ahead and we'll look at those numbers. Actually, because I mentioned it right now, I'll just go ahead and pop it up. I'll give you a little bit of a clue as to where we're going with some things. Because I don't want to show you all the memes, so I got to scroll and make sure that you're not going to see it. Because the memes, you got to be a little bit surprised. I don't want to give you a preview and you'd be like, oh, yeah, I saw that you were going to talk about that. So, okay, yeah, right here. It's for you, Dylan, by the way. I love you, buddy. Love you a lot, man. So, yeah, right here. C-SPAN. Who won the first presidential debate? Donald Trump? Joe Biden? PolitiFact. Or political polls. So sorry about that. Who won the debate? Biden, Trump. We talked yesterday. Telemundo. This was on their TV station, by the way. This was on their anchors are sitting there talking about it. Okay. And Trump, it was like, what? 64%? That's a Spanish-speaking audience, by the way. Holy cow. But this is kind of predictable because studies have been done, right? Polls, they've gone back over the months to kind of see opinions of different demographics to say things like, how do you feel in the wake of Black Lives Matter or, of George Floyd? And then months later, how do you feel now? They've done polls over the years, the last 3 years, 3.5 years about the wall, okay, and how people feel about it, how people feel about immigration and refugee restriction, and surprisingly, the Latinx community, they hate that, by the way. They hate that. They do not embrace that. That is a white people thing. It's an imperialistic, left-wing white person thing to refer to them as Latinx. And it's the domination of their frantic activist class. But they support it. That's the thing. They support immigration restriction. They support restricting access from refugees. They supported the idea of working with Mexico to try to make it so that because they're a friendly country, they're an ally, that if people are coming through their country, that you don't just go, oh, where are you going? Oh, you're just using us as a conduit. And you stop that and you either send them back or you make accommodations in your country. So they supported it. They supported it. All right, back to this news, man. I got to read this. Herd of charging cows in England kills second man in a month. A 72-year-old man in England died after being charged by a herd of cows, authorities said on Friday, making the country's second such fatality in 2 weeks. Now, here's the thing. This guy, 72 years old in England. So, at least those cows are going nuts somewhere else. That's the first thing, right? At least it hasn't spread over here. They haven't figured it out yet that they're like, hey, we need to fight for our rights. They're rioting right now. The cows in England are rioting. They're fed up. They are really mad. Oh, my gosh. We've launched an urgent witness appeal. And look at the guy, man. I can understand a little bit. Couldn't they find a better picture of this guy? He was probably, taunting them, the cows. And I don't want to make fun of the dead. I don't do that. I don't dance on graves. But he definitely looks like he was taunting the cows. So be on the watch out. If you, by the way, if you have any worries or concerns that you've seen cows marching around and you're like, I don't know, it looks like they're ready to riot. They're ready to loot. If you see that, make sure to contact 911. Right here. When I saw this, I couldn't even believe it. That's this month, too, September 6th. Hairbrain doctor removed huge 15 pounds hairball. Are you serious? 15, yeah, wow. 15-pound hairball from stomach of girl. 17. Oh, she has Rapunzel syndrome. I don't want to bust on that. I thought this was one about a dude. There was one, I'm telling you, cross my heart and hope to die, right? That there was one of a guy. Now, maybe he had the same thing. Maybe he's sitting there eating his own hair. That's a real problem. So, I don't want to dog. I don't want to dog on that. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Is that really it? Is that it? Ugh. Oh, in India. Oh my gosh. That is wicked gross. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I guess they thought it was cancer. I can't even, I mean, look, you got to be at least relieved. You got to be relieved, right? Looking for something. Yeah, I mean, if you thought for a second you got this big, mass, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, dude, I've got some cancer right now. And you go in and they're like, look, you're going to need surgery. And you're like, tell me, doctor. And they said, it's not cancer. And you're like, whoo. And they said, it's a 15-pound mass of hairball. What? Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, you know what? Better coming out that way than the other way. That's not even, that'd be messed up. Oregon woman disputes Wells Fargo claim that she's dead. That's, well, I think it's settled. It's over. It's over. It's not funny. Truth is, it's actually not. One of the worst things that you could do, and this, when I was in journalism school, we were told, one of the absolute worst things that you can do is put an obituary out there that someone has died, if they haven't. So you have to be, especially careful. In fact, people who write obits, they're like their own breed of person. They are. They know all the rules. They know all the rules. Yeah, Bethany said to get that hairball off the screen. I did. Maybe not fast enough. Wasn't that gross, though, by the way? All those in the comment section. Yeah, Pet Grave in the comment agrees. Says it's so gross. Cows revolting. Protesting. Just unbelievable. But yeah, apparently she wasn't dead. But her income was not available because she was categorized as being deceased. She's a retired secretary. Imagine what that would do. They say that in the instances where people have accidentally said that somebody died and they didn't, that, you have this outpouring of individuals, calling and giving their lamentations and everything and condolences. And you got to imagine, if you read in the paper that somebody died and it's a friend of yours and you're just heartbroken, I mean, you're crying, you're weeping, you're like, oh my gosh, and you're calling people and it's spreading like wildfire. And then you decide, you kind of get the bravery and you say, okay, I'm going to call the family and I just want to tell them I love them and I'm there for them. And you're crying and you're on the phone and you call and the person answers the phone. Hello? I mean, what the heck? Oh my gosh, can you imagine just the fear, the confusion, and then the feeling that you're pretty dumb? Look, at least it's something you can at least laugh about. It's not funny that her income was not available. Now, she'll be able to deal with this. That will be remedied very nicely. Okay. But other situations, don't go so well. I had one. This isn't funny at all, actually. This is a sad thing. I had a friend. And she died, actually, on Christmas. And it was an extremely tragic thing because she had postpartum. And so it was one of those things. And super sad. Well, I ended up messaging her. And I messaged her, something about, hoping that the holidays were great and that everything was fine. And didn't hear back. And so I went to the wall just to see kind of what's going on. And I saw all these posts from people that had been made aware that she had died. And dude, so, I mean, that, it's the closest I can get to understanding what somebody would feel if they accidentally wrote that a person died. And it resulted in that. It was a terrible feeling. Absolutely terrible. Now, this, by the way, is really terrible. They're not going to let me see that. An advert? Where is this? Ladbible.com? What is this place? Well, you can see the face. You can see that face. What a terrible face this thing is. Imagine seeing this in real life. That's a real dude. The killer clown epidemic swept across America. Wrinkles the clown. Is this real? Is this real? Do any of you guys know anything about Wrinkles the Clown? I'm not even joking. Do you know? Is Wrinkles legit? a character created by an unidentified performance artist living in Naples, Florida. Ugh. Man, there was that meme recently was talking about your phobias with the clown. I scrolled past that bugger real fast. Oh, man. I was like, zoom. Nope. Nothing to see here. Oh, nothing to see there either. I got to admit, I've never seen it. It's true. Never, ever seen it. Now, this is what, part 2. That's the newer one. I've never seen either one. I don't know, is this... No, there's no way. No way is this real. There's a documentary... there's a documentary about it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks legit. Hey, kids, I made you a piñata. What is it, Mom? Oh, it's nothing. Just Wrinkles the clown. You know? Like, take off the blinders, dude. Just whack it. Just whack that bugger. Yeah, man. Yes, dude. Yeah, just not even funny, man. Yes, I remember people doing that whole clown thing. I remember. Yeah. Dylan's talking about the previous story in the comment section, talking about the lady who was declared dead. She ended up having to go to a branch to sign a declaration of life. Think about that one for a minute. Yes, what are you here for? I would like to let you know I'm not dead. That's obvious, ma'am. Not according to you guys. According to you, I'm gone. I'm in the ground. Oh, my gosh. I can't look at this clown stuff too much longer, man. There are certain things that freak me out, and by certain things, I mean a lot. A lot of things, man. A lot of stuff. Talk about in my book, being a scaredy cat. You know, I even had a situation recently, and it's funny the timing of it, because I was on Paleo Cheese, the podcast I do with my friend, and we were talking about, you know, fears and irrational fears, and something about, you know, going up the stairs and kind of and running real fast up the stairs because you feel like something's behind you. I mean, that's a completely normal mechanism of the brain, right? I think, do a lot of people have that problem, right? Or is it just me? But I haven't done that in a long time. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm downstairs. There's no monsters down here, no crazy Pennywise looking clowns trying to kill me. And so no problemo. But I was so tired a couple nights ago. I was exhausted. And I'm sitting there and I'm like half falling asleep, and I made the meme for the next morning, and I get out and I'm walking up the stairs and my heart starts racing. And I just thought, like, dude, is there, like, I better hurry. And I'm like, I didn't run up the stairs, but I was moving quickly. I moved with great haste up those stairs. All right. Massachusetts man dies after overdosing on black licorice. Now, look, that actually is a thing. You know, and they tell you if you eat too much black licorice, you get moon face. You get moon face, man. Yeah. What's this? The real Frozone. Well, okay. What is this? Austrian man sits inside icebox for 2 hours and 30 minutes, breaks his own world record. Really? That guy? You know, I can imagine. I mean, maybe Wim Hof's not even trying. I would love to try doing something like this. Not for 2.5 hours. Look, I take cold showers every day. I do. I've taken cold showers now every day for, I wouldn't say a year, but man, it's been pretty close. It's been pretty close to a year. I mean, well, let's say 9 months or 10 months. I think I've taken 3 warm showers, and 2 of those were contrast showers. So where you start super cold and then you go hot, or hot to super cold. You do the contrast. But I've been doing that. I've been doing Wim Hof breathing. By the way, man, Wim Hof breathing, there's videos with techniques on how to do it for beginners online, and there's warnings to it. If you have high blood pressure, or if you're on high blood pressure medicine, if you're pregnant, There's a number of things. Don't do it, right? Or speak to your doctor beforehand. But if you're not dealing with those problems, I'll tell you, it's life-changing, man. It is life-changing. I do that super deep breaths in, super deep breaths out. You do like 30 of them. Sometimes I'll do the ones that are like 60 in a row. And then after that, I mean, you're like as deep as you can. That in the belly, in the chest. And then breathe it out. Breathe in, breathe out. You do that and you do it a bunch of times. Man, you are flying high. You tingly all over the place. Seeing little green men. And then you hold your breath on the exhale. Okay, on the exhale. So you do that breathe in, breathe out thing slowly. It's not, you're not doing it fast. Breathe all the way out on that last one. You breathe all the way out. And when you breathe all the way out, you stop and you hold it. Man, I've done it. The longest hold I've done is 3 minutes. I've held my breath for 3 minutes without I'm not going to win a trophy. There's not even a cookie in this. I don't even get one of those ribbons. Right? Nothing. Not even a pat on the back from my mom. There's just nothing to this. And so if I don't sit there and I better hold it a little longer. But I've held it for 3 minutes. I normally just do the 2 minutes and then 2.5 minutes. I've done 3 minutes, though, a couple different times. Yeah, on the exhale, by the way, try that sometime. But this guy, 2 hours and 30 minutes in an icebox. Never done that. Never done it. Bravo, buddy. You won. Oh, is this the last one? Is it? Is this the last one? Yeah, I think so. Trump or Biden, Peruvian shamans try to predict U.S. election winner. Hey, look. I don't know if you've seen that debate that took place down in Canada. Don't know if you or down in Canada. Yeah, down there. Up in Canada. A university where they were debating whether or not science is a white modality, and the real zinger of the debate was when the person who's insisting it is a white modality was asking questions like, well, how do you explain that our witch doctors in Africa can dip their fingers into a puddle of water and zap somebody with lightning on the other side of the continent? And you go, because it's not real. Okay. Well, this guy, I mean, look, hey, maybe it's this is part of that whole science is a white modality thing. Maybe this Peruvian shaman's onto something. Let's see this guy. Who does he say is going to win? And look doesn't this just look like it's not all there? Something ain't right. He's even got the Virgin Mary back there. Look at that. Our Lady of Guadalupe. He's mixing it up with all sorts of crazy religions. Look at that. That's weird. With incense and smoke, flowers and photos, Peruvian shamans perform an ancestral ritual for the U.S. elections, but there was little agreement about who would win. Oh, well, there we go. There we go. So they disagreed. So they connected with the spirits and came away with radical disagreement. I gotcha. Oh, it's not the last funny one. Okay. I think we're running low on it now, though. Okay, we're not doing this forever. Toothbrush removed from man's stomach after he swallows it while brushing. Oh. How do you swallow a toothbrush while you're brushing? Have any of you done that? I'm not even kidding. Have any of you been brushing and then... If you have, I'm really sorry that I mean, look, maybe in that moment it was, life flashing in front of your eyes. You're like, oh, is this how I'm going to go? Imagine the obituary for that. Choked on a toothbrush. Swallowed it. Yeah, it's like that old joke. Yeah, where you pull your skin on your neck. What's that? I don't know. A starving person with a piece of rice in their neck? No, that's my friend who died swallowing a toothbrush. What? Oh. What is wrong with these people? It's all bloody. They show pictures of, they're like, hey, do you have any images of that? Oh, yeah, I do. I saved them. I probably would, too. I'm not going to make fun of that guy. That's it's got to be the doctor that removed it. There's no way that's the guy that swallowed it. Where did this happen, man? Man, it's India. What wasn't that other one in India, the hairball? What's going on, India? Get your act together, India. Oh, what's wrong with you guys? Oh, what is wrong with you guys? This is the last one. Okay, yeah, this is definitely, because I can see, okay, I'm glad you guys have bared along with me. I'm making up for lost time yesterday. I'm making up for lost time. Okay? And yeah, Bethany in the comment section, cold shower is cruel and horrible punishment. You're nuts. Hey, man. It's true at first. You know, when I was doing those cold showers at first, it was actually part of Exodus 90. So it was like ascetic, right? It was an ascetical discipline to kind of deprive yourself of certain ordinary life enjoyments and to sacrifice that, right? And then I started reading more about it. And then when Rona started dancing all through the world, when that happened, I decided, I said, look, you know, if it comes down to oxygen and how, you know, the way that we breathe and the way our lungs are and our health and other things like that, and to do with even dealing with sickness, I said, you know, what can I look into? And that's when I found the Wim Hof stuff. And that was cool that cold showers was incorporated with that. Of course, he's fortunate enough to live near mountains where bro can just, you know, hop up on a mountain and walk. He does too. His name's Wim Hof. It's his actual name, W-I-M, and his last name is H-O-F. But he walks up mountains with nothing but a pair of swim trunks on. I mean, he's in like high altitude, super cold, things like that. But I've gotten to the point, look, and here's the thing, if you do this, and I encourage everybody, man, woman, doesn't matter. Okay, I encourage people to try this, even for a week. Do it for a week. To say, you know, if you get in that place where you say every single morning, I'm going to go to that shower and I'm going to be scared. Because you will, man. Everything inside of you is going to say, no, I don't want this. And if you say, I'm going to face that, and I'm going to know in that moment when that's happening, it's not what I want. It's unpleasant. Everything is screaming inside of me, adrenaline pumping. Get out of here right now. I want comfort. And to get in that mental place that says, no, I will deal with the discomfort. I know it sounds like, you know, well, you're making a big deal out of the cold shower. Yes, because there's more in the mind happening with that than people know. And in a time, especially right now, in a time where stress is through the roof and depression is through the roof, and where people are getting down on themselves, right? And they're struggling to keep their weight, to do a good job. I've lost a bunch of weight since I started carnivore and started doing all this. Lost a bunch. Okay? But it gets you in that place in your mind. So yeah, I'm not, there's probably other ways to do it. Probably other ways to do it. Gert says, remember when there were Covens and Wiccans that were trying to curse Trump? Yeah, I remember that. And there were all these scientific people that I know that were sharing that, because it's weird, man. All my scientific friends are also down with Satanism. Maybe not all of them. Okay, maybe not all of them. A significant number of them. So when the Church of Satan and stuff like that, when they do stuff, they're like, man, it's kind of weird how much we have in common. You know, I mean, I don't go there, but yeah, it is a little bit weird, isn't it? And telling, by the way. And telling. The power of Christ is clearly superior. Mm-hmm. With your anemia, you can't do cold showers. Did a couple times, but nope, I just can't. Hey, look, if there's a medical condition that prevents you, come on, I mean, you know, do it a different way, you know. But then it gets to the point where you don't want to do, you know, you don't want to play around, right? You just want to do cold showers. And look, I used to take like 15, 20-minute showers, just enjoying every second of that. And I'd be like, man, and then I'm racing out of the house because I'm late. And now I'm in there for like 2 minutes, and I'm like, and then when I leave, I'm like, whoa, dude, let's go right now. We're good. Horrifying moment: a 4-foot snake is pulled from a Russian woman's throat. Well, at least it's in Russia. If I read that this snake slithered its way from India, I'm going to be ticked. I'm going to be so mad. But a snake, it crawled in her mouth while she was sleeping. No. Why am I reading this? That is the stuff that Nightmares is made of. That is not right. The woman felt unwell. After a snake slithered inside her. It was all the way? The doctor removed the snake after inserting a tube down her throat. Yeah, they couldn't find out if it was still alive. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it's right there. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh, no. I'm really going to puke. I can't look at that. I can't look at that. Hold on. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. Oh my gosh. There's some things I can't even look at, man. My eyes are like watering. I'm like holding it. You know when you get that burning orange juice flavor in the back of your throat? Holding it in. Every terrible it goes all over. I'm so sorry. I won't. No, I need to do better. I need to do better. I should have known. A snake coming out of the throat. It is so long. It's so long. Oh. Man, my stomach is turning. Oh, seriously, man. You guys gotta pray for me on that. Okay. Now, on to the news. And remember, before we move on, the best thing you can do is to watch. Okay? I enjoy every single person who takes time out of their day or listens. You know, I always encourage people, turn it up if you're at work, if you're, out and about, you're sitting at a park, you're at some kind of a protest with your mortal frenemies. Make sure to turn it up just a little bit, just enough that people begin wondering, did he really just say that? Yeah. What is that? What is that you're listening to? And say, because if it's too loud, they'll just say, turn that thing off. But if it's just loud enough, and they hear something and they wonder, did I hear that right? Did he really say that thing that just, and they get really ticked off. Then they're going to ask. And they may end up loving it. A lot of people, I have people who love to hate me and hate to love me. It's okay. Either which way. Make sure to tune in every single day. Every single weekday, 10 a.m. And of course, go over to Paleocratdiaries.com. You got to do it. I'll put these comments up here, man. We'll go ahead and do that for a second. Just for a second. Okay. All right. Federal judge halts Democrats' attempt to eliminate witness requirement. So we just stop the steal stuff. Look at this. So we've got a lot going on, right? With election 2020. We're in the home stretch. It's coming down to the wire. And literally to Joe Biden's wire. Because that guy is wired up. He's wired up, in case you missed it. In the ear, on the wrist, wire, big one. Trying to tuck that thing in there. Okay? What's that wire doing? How many of you guys are wearing wires that got long wires like that and put tape and stuff on your ear right after, within 24 hours of backing off of an agreement that you made, an agreement that you said you would do, and at the last minute you said, nope, we're not going to do it. This test to find out if we're using electronic devices, we're not going to do it. And then this happens. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Man. Unbelievable. Yeah. By the way, Justin, in the comment section, right, there is a real difference between the disposition of libertarians and conservatives that Haidt found. It's hard to gross out a libertarian, but not a conservative. That's correct. That's observant, too, and an awesome plug for a great, great book by a great, great guy. I need to interview him. I've never interviewed Jonathan Haidt. I've referenced his book more maybe than any other book when talking about politics. Righteous Mind. People got to go and check that out. Brian said that he's a snake guy, and even that freaked him out. Adam said, talking about Joe Biden, that Joe Biden's living off Adderall for sure. Dude, no doubt about it. I was saying yesterday, man, that the levels of Adderall it would take to keep that guy functioning. Because he's pooping dirt like dust by this point, right? It's just dust, ashes at this point. That to get him out of bed, they're probably giving him Adderall through an IV. That might actually be what was up with the thing in his wrist. I mean, maybe he's got he's got it on the drip. He's got it on the drip, buddy. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, and people saying that they'd be surprised if Biden showed up to the next debate. Yeah, because they're the steel. But see, it's going to be a difficult decision if he decides he's not going to do that. And if people go, well, people would understand that. And you go, yeah, if he did a good job and it wasn't that he was wearing a wire. Like he was wearing a wire. He was more busted. He was more or as busted and in a really clever way. I mean, Houston Astro level stuff, right? So, he's busted in a way. This is the second candidate, by the way. Hillary was busted with this. Like I said, and remember when Hillary got chucked like a sack of potatoes in the Scooby wagon on 9/11 when she was doing the shake thing, that they swear was dehydration. They swear she was just really dehydrated. It's like, why weren't you giving her something to drink? Just little sips, little eatsy sips. Yeah, they tossed her in, and when they did, her Cinderella shoe came off. So everybody knows it's like the saddest shoe that's ever existed. But more than that, there were like nuts and bolts coming out of her pants. What's up with this? What do you got going on down there? What's that clink clank? And it made a loud metallic noise off the ground. And it was in her pants. I've never. Maybe it's something that people their age deal with. If you're somebody watching right now at an advanced age and you understand what that's like, you've got some metallic thing that has fallen out and nuts and bolts and metal pieces come flying out of your pants and stuff, and it's an embarrassing thing, let us know in the comment section. Because I don't want to make fun of people if it's a legit concern. You know what I mean? More on the Stop the Steal front. Report, laptop, memory sticks to program Philadelphia voting machines was stolen. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. Multiple memory sticks and a laptop used to program voting machines in Philadelphia have been stolen. Yeah, that's real great. Real great. Oh, yeah, that's zoomed up. Are you serious? No. Mayor Jim Kenney issued the following statement on the matter to the Inquirer. Since being informed of the incident, I have immediately committed to making necessary police resources available to investigate this incident and find the perpetrators. That's good. Great. I've also committed to the city commissioners additional resources to provide enhanced security at a warehouse going forward. This matter should not deter Philadelphians from voting, nor from having confidence in the security of this. The first part, yes. The second part, you're crazy. I'm gonna ramp up police. I'm gonna ramp up investigations. I'm gonna make sure that it's totally protected. But don't worry. Don't worry. Have complete confidence in the system. You don't right now, which is why you're appointing those people to be there. That's why, man. So people go, oh, okay, yeah, it's good. He's got it under control. No, you don't. You don't have it under control. Philadelphia kind of sucks, man. The train station's nice, though. Not going to lie. And Rocky statue. Although I don't know how long that's going to last. It's, somebody's gonna mistake that for some kind of a colonizer. And they're going to tear that bugger down. Philadelphia again. Trump campaign threatens to sue over satellite election office access. President Donald Trump's re-election campaign on Wednesday threatened to sue unless it is granted access to observe activity inside opened satellite election offices. Oh, yeah. Dude, that's an interesting thing. What's up with that? Earlier Tuesday, President Trump tweeted about claims about poll watchers being blocked from entering the offices. Wow. Quote, wow, won't let poll watchers and security into Philadelphia voting places. So this is where voting is actually happening. Ooh. There's only one reason why: corruption. Must have a fair election. Look, I think that there's a good argument to be made that when people talk about there's no election fraud, this is, again, they're playing fast and loose with this, by playing strict, in fact, right? And what that's doing is saying, fraud has a technical legal definition. And what we're seeing, by and large, is not fraud, right? There are other phrases that we can use for this. They should be talking about the integrity of the vote. They should use a positive term, even if they couple it, even if they continue using a negative term like steal, theft, fraud, even if they wanted to continue doing that, right? That they would couple that with a positive frame of integrity, because you want to be able to trust it. You want to be able to trust the election, man. Dylan says in the comments, our election security is next level bad. At this point, we should just use physical ballots. I agree. I agree with that, which then the only debate would be over whether, and this is, I think, a reasonable discussion, whether people should be given ballots. Of course, we have where you go and you vote at your polling place, right? Now, there are a lot of people right now who might, for different reasons, feel very uncomfortable with doing that. It makes it very difficult, right? And some of that's legit concerns, which also muddies it up, because then you're like, well, how do we deem legit concerns or distinguish between that? What if someone is just straight up scaredy pants, right? And they go, look, I'm just scared out of my mind of the boogeyman outside floating around everywhere but Black Lives Matter protests, right? So it's everywhere else, or Antifa rallies, right? Those places, no problemo. But all joking aside, the idea that people are legit afraid to say, I don't want to put myself or my family at risk. Okay? So that's a legit thing. Questions then come up, what about unsolicited ballots being sent to you? Like I had a bunch that were sent to me from this place, and it's so shady, man. And it had something to do like election transparency or something like that. And it said an office in Lansing. They weren't even to me. One was, but the others were not. So I go and I check it out. It is sent to my home. We try sending it back, the other ones, and it comes right back. And then we get more. And then we've gotten more. They keep sending them. All these ballots, man. It's crazy. We have a stack at this point. Unsolicited. We didn't ask for these things. We tried giving them back. Don't know what to do with them. All right? Called the election office. I found out where the people are. Both of the people, and this is weird, the two of the 3 or 4 others that got the mail sent here lived here many, 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 many years ago. Well, I don't even know if both of them lived here, right? But I found out both of them went to Calvin. Said, oh, Calvin's in our town. And then said, well, where are they now? Maybe I can find them. Oh, yeah, man, they're both in Brooklyn. Not together, but somehow they both made their way. Now they're both living in Brooklyn. And so we're getting it sent to our home, which, by the way, has been a registered Democrat home. In fact, we had Democrats for years coming to our door, and I'm like, you guys, what? I don't really like you guys. We never had any GOP people. I would have said the same thing to them. I did when I went into the GOP the first time. Went into the GOP here, and they're like, oh, you really want to be involved with the party? And I said, no, I'm here for your leader. I'm here for your leader. But the debate would have to be over, what should amount to, should you have to request it, whether it's by phone or whatever? Should it be sent back by a certain time? I don't like the idea of saying we're going to extend it for weeks afterward. I don't like that at all. This has been going on for a very long time. This pandemic, and the idea that it just ain't going away. It didn't take a prophet to read the writing on the walls that Michigan was going to be under the thumb of executive orders for a very long time. And now, what was it yesterday, talking about it's going to be way longer, into next year. into next year. And that's a real political gamble for her, by the way. It's a political gamble. I don't know why. I don't know why she's doing it, to be honest. And to say this, and I might lose some of my friends here on this, but I really hope that no matter who's in office, whether Democrat, whether Republican, I hope and I pray that they do a good job. I'm serious. I after Mass, we have low Mass and we have high Mass, right? Low Mass is very quiet, a lot of kneeling, not as much of the pageantry going on, right? Very basic. High Mass, on the other hand, is lots of pageantry, lots of chanting and stuff like that. It's very beautiful, incense flying all over the place. It's gorgeous. There are certain prayers to be said after a low Mass and after a high Mass. And these are Latin Masses. After a high Mass, people can do all different kinds of prayers and Thanksgiving, whatever they want, right? And just kind of just chill there in the sanctuary, in the church. But I have a missal from like the 1950s. It's like a prayer book, and it has the order of the Mass and different prayers you can do. And at the end, back then, there was a prayer you could do in the United States, because they have different ones for different places, but in the United States for the government. And in there, it's talking about praying for your leaders, your representatives, your senators, the president, on a local, your mayors, local, state, and federal level. Okay? And praying for them that they would do things according to justice, moderation, prudence, and that they would be upstanding people. I pray that, and I don't just pray it for Republicans that are my brand of Republican, because not all are. In fact, the party apparatus, the establishment of the Republican Party, not the biggest fan. There's a lot of these rhinos in there. A lot of the George W. crowd, the McCain folks, Tokyo Rose guy. Okay. But I pray for them because no matter who's in office, yes, when it comes back to election, yes, we are going to try to get our person in. True. But until then, that person bears the symbol of the sword, right? Those institutions. And that is the that not the representative in the sense that we have representatives, but they are symbolic in that sense. Their function is important for the integrity and the prosperity of our state. And so to sit there every day and just, hate the person and wish them, the worst, that's not me. That's not me. Fact check, Joe Biden says Biden left Trump a booming economy and Trump caused a recession. We went through some of these fact checks, and, there's a couple of these articles. The idea that it was false, but this was kind of an important one. Economic growth had nearly come to a standstill at the end of the Obama administration, verging on recession. The economy grew at a perilous 1.6% in 2016. That's not good. And was declining. In the first quarter of 2017, the last of which Barack Obama was president, the rate of GDP growth fell to 1.4. Yeah. There's no reasonable interpretation of recent history in which Donald Trump can be accused of causing a recession. In fact, yes, I would think it would be wrong, and I'll put this out there. I think it would be wrong if, let's say, we're back with Obama, and we have something like like Rona shows up, right? And it's that debilitating at a massive level. And let's say that everything was going good, the hypothetical Democrat situation, right? Just imagining, right? Bill Clinton. Take Bill Clinton. This is a better one. Take Bill Clinton. During Bill Clinton's time, we did see great economic results. Okay? People can say, well, it was the, .coms or whatever. But let's just take it as an example and say, what if at that time there was the coronavirus shows up? It was the same optics, people falling over in the streets in China. Dudes in these Smurf-like PPE looking like astronauts running up, spraying people like that, dragging them off the street. Stay away, stay away. Everybody's freaking out, Where'd those guys come from? Are they patrolling everywhere? Are people dropping like flies? And nobody knew what was up with this. And we're seeing it spread like wildfire. And the news is making it worse because just like its preference for seeing videos of wildfires was its preference for seeing terrible situations. That flashing at you is going to get you and your attention, and it's going to make them lots of money. Even if it freaks people out. They didn't want to keep people calm. You know, but if that happened and everything shut down and people lost their jobs, and all of a sudden, and let's say that he was even following the advice and being criticized by the Republicans for not acting fast enough, and then economic things happen, and if my side started using that and saying, oh, he's to blame for it, I'd pimp smack that dude right across the face and say, get a better argument, man. It's one thing to win. It's another thing to lie. It's another thing to be disingenuous and uncharitable. Use a better argument. There are a bunch of them out there. These guys give us good arguments against them on a silver platter, for crying out loud. We're talking politics. You don't need to do that. But to deny that the Trump economy was chugga, 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 choo, choo, to deny that is you're a faker. You're a phony. A phony. Dylan, talking about in the comment section about the ballots, says his girlfriend and I got election material letters from some office in Dallas, Texas. We've never lived there. We don't know why or how we got them. Dude, I never finished this. The ones I got were from this place in Lansing, so I thought I'd call them, right? So I go ahead and I call them. Do I have it? I'll have to, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll show you guys. So I get it. I look up this place, and it says it's a 501c3 and that it's nonpartisan. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now let's go see this thing. So I go there. Every staff member has a little bio. All of them, Democratic operatives. Every single one of them working on elections. I'm like, dude, this is okay. It is an election thing, so that makes sense. But there was no, oh, this guy's a Republican. None. There was no, this guy's an independent. None. All just big time Democrats. So I went to their news. They have a news feed. Each and every article was, this is looking great for Biden. Biden needs to do this to win. I'm like, you guys are literally a think tank for him too. Like, this is all pro Biden, everything. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And so I was like, well, I'm going to call these people and tell them these people don't live here. No phone number to the Lansing branch. No contact information, dude. I'm like, what? For transparency or integrity or whatever, man. And I'm like, okay. So I looked up, it come to find out there's a national branch, right? Under a different name. So it's like another group. It's basically the same page, same people, same everything. But this one has a contact information. And so it has one for journalists, but it's an email. And then it's got one, it was a phone number. So I called the phone number. I tried every single option. Every single option either said that there was no answering machine set up, or it said you would ring and ring and ring, and then when it would pick up, it would tell you to contact your state offices. This is super shady, man. Super duper duper shady. I don't know if I want to go through this. No. You know, look, people can go ahead and they can read this stuff. Because some of it's true. I think there was one, though, that honestly I did want to read. Because it was a pretty big deal. We've talked about the whole point about vacancies. Right? The idea that there's no manifesto with him and Bernie. That's not true. An economic recovery that's benefiting all Americans. Because he said he said the difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis. Look, when he said millionaires and billionaires like him, he should have said like the two of us. The idea that he's not worth over $1 million is nuts. He's pretending. He's like, millionaires like other people have benefited. He's benefited. Why doesn't he say, I've benefited and I wish I didn't? And there is a point to that. Look, big tech. But here's the thing. A lot of this, and this is where it gets murky. A lot of this, if people are honest, you say, okay, so it's like a heads you win, tails I lose scenario. Because Democrats, especially in power, will criticize you for not doing enough to stop it. They got mad that he was trying to keep people calm, which, by the way, I won't even repeat it all. You can go back and listen. I've talked numerous times about why that is what every single president would have and should have done. Definitely. That's how we're a republic, man. And people who say, oh, no, he shouldn't. You're number one, you're either just grotesquely ignorant and you're just spouting off and nobody should really even listen. Or you are a manipulator. And I would understand both, especially in an election year. Okay? But when people, a president of a country made up of 50 states and there's territories, everything else, and people all over the globe, and you got a global pandemic that nobody knows anything about, to sit there and to do your best to keep them calm by assuring them that the best people you have are on it. The best people. You have to. You have to. What it was? Is it Das Boot? There's a, I believe, a submarine movie where the captain is doing that. And the captain has to give a positive message, even in a terrible time, to keep the people calm. Otherwise, there's going to be chaos on the boat. These people don't understand leadership, or they do, and they're so lustful for power that they're willing to criticize the very thing they would have done. They would have done it themselves. Don't believe them, man. It's wrong. It's wrong. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of information there. You can check it out yourself, okay? You know, whether it's about the economy, whether it's about jobs, whether it's about who's benefiting from these jobs. And there are people who aren't. For example, college-educated young people. They aren't. And, you know, truth is, a lot of that, and a lot of them may not like to hear this, but some of that has to do with our visa system. Because a lot of people, look, they say, well, I want to get a job in coding. And then you say, well, what are the places you'd like to code for? What are the places you'd like to work in tech? And they list some of these big heavy hitters, monopolistic places. And you say, well, okay, well, why don't you work there? And you find out, oh, the reason why you're not working there is because they're constantly lobbying for an increased number of people from other countries who they say are better than you. It's like it pulls from the bottom and from the top. It pulls unlawful immigration and this expanded system for visas and things like that. It pulls from the bottom and the top. You have people at the bottom who may not have degrees, who need to be able to do certain jobs that may be, you know, the manual labor stuff, not as fancy, and yet they can't because they cannot compete with the amount of money that a sly employer would be able to give someone who's here illegally. Yeah. But this has some great stuff. You got to read it. 5 times Joe Biden disses Bernie Sanders and the radical left during the first presidential debate. I won't cover that one. It's a good one, but I won't cover it. Okay? Won't cover that. Cherie in the comments says, Governor Whitmer's lost thousands of supporters. I always pray for those who are in power, such as our governor, that God will guide them and allow his people to lead a quiet and peaceable life. Yes, man. That's actually totally legit right there. That the goal is the kind of order and justice that brings peace amongst the citizenry. And justice. That is what this is. And prosperity. But even without prosperity, it depends on how you define that. You know, if a country is not wealthy with money, not rich in that sense, but is peaceful and caring and loving and kind and upstanding and honest and righteous, obviously not perfect, but if you were to gauge that place and say, what is the vast, like, what is the general idea you get from this? If it's those things, it's more valuable than gold, man. More valuable than gold. Beth goes, just saw this, copy and paste. Since the primaries, Republicans have added a net 447,723 registered voters in Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, versus the Democrats, who added 225,623. In 2016, these gains were roughly even. Another comment, to be fair, Democrats have to do more work to mobilize voters than Republicans do. I'd be interested in why you believe that. I'm not saying it's wrong. You know, but I'm interested to know what you mean by that. No contact info is not transparency. Brian in the comments. Yeah, no contact info. Yes, exactly, man. Talking about the voter transparency group that I tried to call. Yeah. Oh, let me try to call you. No. Yeah, look at this, man. He really did throw Bernie under the bus. He said, no, I don't support the Green New Deal. Although he did later say the Green New Deal will pay for itself moving forward. Kind of muddied that one up. The time when he said the party is me right now. I am the Democrat Party. And he was doing that by saying, you know, that he is not down with the whole Medicare for all. He said he's totally opposed to defunding police officers. Although the Biden Unity Task Force calls for reimagining public safety. And look, if people want to know, there's a book. I'm trying to remember, man, who wrote this? Who wrote that? Bertrand Russell wrote a book, and it's called Roads to Freedom, I think. And I read it years ago. It's utopian, right? It's a mix of communism, right? Let's just say Marxism. So it's all the different shades and schools of thought kind of within Marxism and ideas that they believe that if you were to put this stuff in place, it would reimagine the world. It's utopia. That's what the goal of this was in the book. And a lot of that did have to do with reimagining police, reimagining law and order, with a heavy emphasis on rehabilitation. And you go back and you look and you say, okay, when people talk about reimagining, what do they mean? Because, see, that sounds like a nice word. I mean, you know, let's reimagine that. Okay, I'm down. Look, I don't want a police state. I don't want to have crazy abuse. I've written investigative stories against police who've abused. There have been state police investigations into two different officers that Papa Bear wrote about because what they did was real bad. Super duper bad. People who abused their authority and power because of stuff that was published by me, some of it investigated and reported by my friend Autumn, who did tons of legwork, by the way, on the FOIA stuff. Right? But to sit there and say, to call this stuff out, I don't want, especially, it's the same thing with the church. It's the same thing with public schools. It's the same thing with Hollywood. It's the same thing with politics, no matter what it is, to call out those in power when they do abuses, when they do something wrong, because you want to have your institutions to be good. You really do want to just be able to say, in honesty, a few bad apples. That is what you want to be able to say. Can't make this up. Yeah. This is hilarious. Biden won't condemn Antifa terrorist, says Antifa is just an idea. But Antifa.com URL takes you to Biden for President donation page. Oh my gosh. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, you type in the URL, Antifa.com, and it leads you to the Biden fundraising page. What a mess. What a mess. Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Moving on, man. Look, I said yesterday that I've taken the position that Antifa, the way that it operates, is similar to Baptist conventions, right? That they're local groups, autonomous, right? So they're by themselves. There's nobody on the outside that can tell them you need to do this or you need to do that. It's not a denominational structure like you would see with a hierarchy, like, for example, the Catholic Church, right? Those churches, they can come in and just tell you, you're out, right? Somebody disobeys, somebody does something crazy, the bishop comes in, boom, gone. There's a hierarchy. In this, not so much. And part of that has to do with their beliefs regarding consensus, and which is rooted in their concept of democracy, ultimately, right? Their concept of autonomy. And so you say, these groups, when people talk about Antifa, it's shorthand, right? They're talking about a bunch of different groups that share not only a common idea, but common action. And that's why the Baptist Convention comes into play. It's not just a shared set of beliefs, particularly about believer baptism, right? Or democracy, right? Or congregationalism, stuff like that. But it's a convention that says, we want to, for example, send out Bibles. We want to send out Bibles. And so they join together for action. But it may actually be a little bit more coordinated than I thought. Or maybe it's just the convention part to understand the coordination. No matter what, the Trump administration reportedly cloned the cell phones of suspected domestic terrorists in Portland in order to gather intelligence about Antifa. Yeah, told the nation. They were extracting information from protesters' phones. That's crazy. You're getting an inside view of your targets, who they are, who they're talking to, the hierarchy. I mentioned this yesterday. I don't know how deep I got into this. Kyle Rittenhouse. Look, I have actually not spoken very much about Kyle Rittenhouse. In part because, sharing this kind of stuff on social media can be really difficult. People can be, oh my gosh, look, you're not allowed to share that. You're not allowed to share stuff that would help him or his case, provide money for it. Because Facebook, for example, is already the judge and the jury. Already decided. Nope. Domestic terrorist. If he gets, and look, this is not a joke. If he ends up not being declared this, if he ends up being found to have rightfully defended himself in that situation by a guy, by the way, with a gun, grabbing for the gun, pretending to do this, then running to grab for the gun, or people slamming him over the head with a skateboard, people shooting and throwing things at him, and he's running away. If he gets found to not be guilty of this stuff, can he sue Facebook? And doesn't this actually cause a massive problem if somebody is in the system and they're currently being held and they're going through court right now and lawyers are on it and they're going through the whole thing, and you're not even allowed to promote your case to say that you're not guilty? That right there. That's fascistic, man. That's what. I don't want to say fascism. I think it'll be stupid. Fascistic. That's the kind of authoritarian, creepy, dystopian wonderland that a lot of these people, on the left, sadly, would like to see. Oh, we don't like what this person believes. Make it so that you can't fund his defense team. Unbelievable. And then Joe Biden. Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse attorney threatens to sue Joe Biden for false white supremacist accusation. Yes. I said yesterday, if you are someone who has been labeled by people in power or institutions and they call you a white supremacist, sue them. Sue them. Class action that junk, man. Sue them. If you are an employee of a school and that school makes you go through a course that discriminates against you because you are a white person, sue them. Telling you that you may be terrible things even though you did not do anything wrong or say anything bad. That they have a crystal ball and just know it. Sue them. Join forces and sue the living daylights out of them. It is libelous. It is slanderous. What he did, Biden's going to get sued. I'm just straight up. Sued millions of dollars because there is no evidence that he's a white supremacist. And here's the crazy thing, Joe Biden, you don't get it, bro. The system that you are endorsing with critical race theory says that all of America and what you're trying to do running for president is a perpetuation of white supremacy. That you are central. You have been for 47 years. You white supremacist piece of garbage. Yeah. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? He doesn't get it. The idea, look, the idea of whiteness, it's a concept of supremacy. And bro, you are like the poster child of whiteness. Unbelievable, man. And so that's like a pot calling the kettle black. Melissa asked in the comment section, should you sue your own family? Look, if your family, if you work for your family and they make you go through a training course like that, that's between you and your family. If it's a school or an organization, people that you aren't on a personal level with like that, I mean, that's up. I don't know. It's bad. I mean, look. That's something that, again, you can, even though it's technically not in-house, if you're working for your family, it is a little bit in-house. But yeah, there's no evidence that Rittenhouse is a white supremacist. He currently faces murder charges in Kenosha, Wisconsin, for shooting 3 rioters last month. 2 of them died. Violent people, by the way. Rittenhouse has argued, citing video, that he acted in self-defense. If you haven't seen that 11-minute video, you absolutely must. Biden's video played audio from Tuesday night's first presidential debate, in which, ironically, President Donald Trump said that he would denounce white supremacists and claimed in the accompanying text that Trump had refused to do so. At one point, the video showed a photo of Rittenhouse, armed with an AR-15. Other images in the video included white supremacists marching in a torchlight procession in Charlottesville, Virginia. Sue him. Sue him. Drag him down, man. John Pierce, who's also representing Rittenhouse, told Breitbart News on Sunday, Kyle is not a racist or a white supremacist. He's a brave, patriotic, compassionate, law-abiding American who loves his country and his community. Yeah. Yeah. The evidence appears to point in that direction. Here's another one, loves the community, by the way. Why is it doing that too? What's up with it? What's up with this main? Well, what's up with the news banner? It's all crooked. Well, let's see if it matters. Yeah, it does matter. It matters. It matters. This is crazy. Okay, window capture. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. That's better. Right here. Black chairman of Proud Boys speaks out after liars Joe Biden and Chris Wallace call them white supremacists. I cannot emphasize this enough. When people say that the Proud Boys are white supremacists, they don't know jack. They don't know anything about what they are talking about. Period. End of story. Easily proven wrong. I have to give credit where it's due. There was a comment on YouTube. I just saw it this morning. Someone posted and said, basically admitting, yes, they're not racist in that sense. They're not white supremacists. It's a cultural thing. That's why they say stuff like West is best. And you go, but those are two different things. Those are two different things. In fact, that would be a dramatically different debate. Again, the guy admitted and said that, you know what, it would be the main criticism that he had was just that they're violent people or that they have a philosophy of violence. Now, I happen to know a little bit about the guy making the comment. And I would say it's curious because this Black Lives Matter is definitely a violent group. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. We've witnessed all over the place. And people can say, "Oh, well, there's a lot that aren't." Same thing with Proud Boys. Same thing with any of these groups. You can make the same argument, but a philosophy of violence, though. The philosophy of violence is Marxist, man. Antifa. And that's why you can't play around, man. This is not a joke. Not a joke. On Wednesday, Proud Boys International Chairman Enrique Tarrio, an African Hispanic American, what does he call himself, Afro-Cuban, spoke out against the smear that Proud Boys is a white supremacist group. Look at this. Look at that. White supremacy. I was talking to somebody and I said, look, man, you can go on and you can see people of all different races who are part of this. Jews who are part of it. Black people who are part of it. Asians who are part of it. In fact, large numbers of Cubans, large numbers of Hispanics, large numbers. And some people, I had one guy who said, yo, I've seen pictures. Where are all the, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's a Hispanic person in a black hat. Come on. But how many times, if you had to think, and maybe I'm wrong, show me if I'm wrong. Show me, I'll look. If you can show me anything other than a screenshot of the Chappelle Show where a black guy is proudly sporting the Klansman outfit and they're all like, yeah, he's one of our boys. If you can show me that, boom, got you. If you can show me any of those groups, if you can show me a bunch of Jews that love Hitler or Hitler loving on a bunch of Jews and, yeah, well, just hanging out. We don't care. Or show me an organization that's this white nationalist organization, this white supremacist, racist organization that has rules at the very get-go that say you can't be a racist. And if we find out you are, there's a vetting process. We find out you are, boop, gone. Show me. And if you cannot show me, then shut up. Then cut it out, man. I can't get too mad because the thing is, I've owned the daylights out of this argument. Go back and listen to yesterday. And so many of these people who use this argument against people like this, look at him. Look at him, man. Right there. Look at what Jody says. I just found out that this is the leader of the Proud Boys. I'm not getting the whole white supremacy thing. Yes, the leader. A black man in the Proud Boys. Well, how the heck is that possible? Chris Wallace told me they were a white supremacist group. And you want to know what? You want to know what? You'll have a bunch of people, a bunch of whitey people on the left who will go, race traitor. And you go, man, you are really sounding like that Jim Crow junk. You guys are so racist. Oh. Proud of my boys, man. Proud. It really is about Western chauvinism. Culturism. If you don't know what culturism is, then you ain't really part of this discussion. Culture matters. And if you want to tie culture, especially now, after all of this time where people are able to write, communicate, travel, move, and migrate, to sit there and say that civilization and that culture is tethered entirely to your color of your skin, your race, you're out to lunch, man. That's some anti-scientific voodoo nonsense. Weirdos. Oh, look at that. Let's see, what does it say? I never heard of the Proud Boys until today. And I did some research on my own. They're not white supremacists like the left claims. They protect the people from BLM Antifa terrorist thugs at these riots. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. So, Reason Magazine. Oh, that's even worse. Whatever. Pathetic Reason Magazine calls Proud Boys white nationalists and criticizes President Trump for not condemning them. Nah, it's old. It's just whatever. Just bogus. Totally bogus. Yeah, commenter, is it Geiger Goldstadt? Given that they welcome people of color into their group and have zero white nationalist causes, I will take a person's word for it, whether they are a white nationalist. It's not exactly a cause that's easy to stumble into. Reason's race-baiting false witness is a sin and malignant societal cancer. They're scum. Justin in the comments wrote, Reason Magazine and the Libertarian Party are leftists, and I disavow them. Yeah, dude. It's true. By the way, Justin's a great guy. He's a good man. We've been friends for a minute, man. No. Just unbelievable stuff, man. Big League Politics has reported on how Proud Boys have done nothing wrong except support President Trump and defend themselves against Antifa terrorists. Group members have paid a steep price for their patriotic activity. Yeah, man. No doubt. No doubt about it. We'll talk about some of these things a little bit later. Donald Trump's policies boosted lower middle income. You know what? I'll mention this one because I did mention it earlier. Lower and middle income Americans gained ground in President Donald Trump's first term economy. I think most lower and middle income Americans, if they were honest about it, know that's true. They just know it. While upper income Americans gained the most. under President Barack Obama, according to a survey by the Federal Reserve Banking System. And here's what the Federal Reserve Banking System says. I'm not a fan of the Fed, by the way, but it's what they reported. Families near the bottom of the income and wealth distributions generally continued to experience substantial gains in median and mean net worth between 2016 and 2019. Did you feel that, by the way? Dude, for 3 years, were you working? Was it hard to find a job? It was amazing to see how many people I knew who were working. And it's anecdotal. It's just people I know. I'm interested to hear. During the 3 years between the beginning of 2016 and 2019 surveys, real gross domestic product grew at an annual rate of 2.5%, and the civilian unemployment rate fell from 5% to 3.8%. Remember when they said that kind of stuff wasn't real? Do you remember this? Do you remember when they said there's, the debate over microchips and potato chips, which one should we make, didn't matter? That it doesn't matter. The Adam Smith's idea of certain things that maybe that's a little bit different to something that may be in the interest of the country to produce for themselves for other reasons. But do you remember when they said manufacturing ain't going to come back? Everybody just needs to learn how to code. Families at the top of the income and wealth distributions experienced very little, if any, growth in median and mean net worth between 2016 and 2019, after experiencing large gains between 2013 and 2016. Now, this did not include damage that was the result of the coronavirus crash. And this is the breakdown. There's actually a whole bunch. The idea, for example, right, that wages for full-time male employees at the midpoint of the national wage scale grew by an average of 2.1% to 57,000, almost 57,500 by 2019. Median full-time female employees gained 2.5%. Income and poverty, and that was according to a report titled Income and Poverty in the United States 2019. According to the Federal Reserve report, the median income for families rose by 5% from 2016 to 2019. That's more money. That's bang for the buck, man. I'm going out, giving my time, I'm getting more money. Don't you see? Unbelievable. The median people in the bottom quarter of personal wealth gained 11% in income, while people in the top quarter gained 6%. Young people under age 35 gained the most, while people over 55 lost income, which does not count stocks or savings. Now, the report notes, and this is why, a lot of places might not add this. I'm glad that they did. The report notes that college graduates did poorly from 2016 to 2019. The family median income level of high school graduates rose by 6%, while the median or midpoint income of college graduates fell by 2%. Families without a high school diploma saw a 9% increase in their income, while families with a college degree saw a 2% decrease. That drop, of course, may reflect a growing share of Americans who hold lower value degrees, such as art history. I would add, of course, ethnic studies, diversity studies, feminism studies. A declining share of Americans with high value degrees, such as engineering. Yeah, go read this. But the whole idea is that, and look, this is important. This is what Bill Maher knew. Bill Maher understood this. He said, with these numbers, people feel this is true. They know of the Trump effect. You can see it in the cities. You can see it in the rural areas. You can see it in places coming back. You can see it in construction. You can see it. You can feel it. Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo choo. Trump train's real. Maganomics is dope. And it was cooking until Rona. And that's what I'm saying. Look, and I think that it's not advantageous to Democrats on the left, many Democrats on the left, to criticize too harshly. On the one hand, it's a difficult place because Democrats on the left, they don't want to give Trump credit for the economy. But there's many people who are going to vote for Joe Biden who don't agree with Joe Biden's positions regarding economics. They don't agree with it. They agree with economic populism. They may not like the term, but they are essentially economic nationalists. Essentially. And yet, for a political point and for political power, they'll bash it. They'll deny the obvious. They'll even deny what they've enjoyed. Now, that's really against self-interest. Or just a crazy way of prioritizing. Just bizarre. Save that one. We're in the last 15 minutes. Okay, I got to say this. I got to say this. Hillary's team helped fabricate the Trump-Russia collusion lie. Look, if you know somebody, or you were listening to somebody who is promoting the Russian collusion lie and that they just haven't given up on it, like old pencil-neck Schiff, fire them. Tell them that they should quit their day. They really should. Quit your day job. Go somewhere else. You're doing very badly. I've known this from the beginning, man. This was a lie. I didn't know, of course, all the details that comes out, of course, through leaks. But you can tell. You can tell it's a lie. The same way when people are like, well, yeah, Russia hacked the election. You go, well, then why not allow the FBI access to the servers? Why have CrowdStrike do it? You pay tons and tons of money, and then you say, trust us. I don't trust you. Like I said yesterday, I don't trust these people as far as I could throw a circus midget. And I can't throw them very far. But it's uncanny. But didn't we all kind of know this? How many debates did you get into? I had a friend who just, honestly, he kind of stopped being my friend anymore. He came over and we were talking. And he said, we got in this conversation. He goes, you don't believe that Russia hacked the election? No. What do you even mean by that? He left. He left my house. And we've been friends for a while. Just left. I'm a conspiracy theorist. This again goes to show that sometimes conspiracy is not as spooky as people think. I hope you're sitting down and prepared to go into shock. Breaking news. In late July 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies obtained insight into Russia intelligence analysis alleging that U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton had approved a campaign plan to stir up scandal against U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump by tying him to Putin and the Russians hacking the DNC. If you're not a regular reader, then yes, you're going to be shocked. But for you old-timers, you already knew it. You can go back to something published on 6 May 2019. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe gave Senator Lindsey Graham a letter today detailing recently declassified intelligence outlining the Clinton campaign's effort to manufacture a collusion narrative featuring Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Unbelievable. It's based on information obtained by the CIA. Yeah, it goes back even earlier than that. Thanks to WikiLeaks, we have a copy of an email exchange. And see, that's the thing. We have this information. We can see it ourselves. We have a copy. of an email exchange between Hillary's campaign manager, John Podesta, and longtime Democratic operative Brent Budowski, talking about how Hillary should take on the Donald. And what does Budowski tell Podesta? The best approach, this is a quote, and it's been accessible this whole time. The best approach is to slaughter Donald for his bromance with Putin, but not to go too far betting on Putin re-Syria. Just unbelievable. Hakluyt and Company, is that how you pronounce that? Hakluyt? London-based, founded by 3 former British intelligence operatives. They were in on it, which of course they were. Remember all those videos and the pictures and everything, the documentation we have of Strzok and his lover going over to England. You're like, what are you doing over there, man? Why is that scheme team, that small group? What's up with that, dude? What you doing, homie? Alexander Downer, remember that cat? What a liar. What a liar. What a goon. The honeypot stuff, they're going to find out more and more and more, by the way, on that mega hot blonde chick who was talking with George Papadopoulos. Yeah. Just unbelievable, man. Yeah, he's totally a fraud. Yeah, he has a sudden concern about this, about the alleged Russian hacking of the DNC. No. No. I have a video. I think, what is it, man? Was it Satan Called My Cell Phone? You got to check it out. Go to my youtube.com/Paleocrat to see that. I break it down as to why not only it's terribly unlikely, but dude, it just didn't happen. I'm so sorry to tell you. I'm so sorry to tell you. People in the know. That's why you got to watch the show. You simply got to keep watching the show. We'll talk about this. You know, I want to talk about whether or not civil rights was a religion, but we're kind of running out of time. Let me see what the other articles that I've got. I've got this one. No, I got to deal with this. We'll talk about this civil rights religion. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Female Christian pastor. And by the way, I love big league politics because they ain't playing around, man. They ain't playing around. Just listen to the way this stuff's worded. I like this, by the way. Female Christian pastor rejects the truth of Christ, says it is holy to sell porn pics to OnlyFans. This is real. She betrayed Christ and became a Jezebel by Shane Trejo. And I don't want to laugh. I mean, this lady obviously desperately needs the Lord. Look at her. You're in the wrong profession. You should not be there. She should not. Oh, she got her OnlyFans. That's her OnlyFans account. What a sick pervert. What a sicko, man. A female Christian pastor is being celebrated as a hero of women's liberation for rejecting her faith, turning her back on Christ, and becoming a glorified prostitute. That's definitely the way to put it. What do you say about that? If you have a person, number one, what is she doing? What is she doing being a pastor? What's that all about? That's like Joyce Meyer being confronted years ago by somebody who supported her, an old professor of mine. Professor of mine down at Bible College in Dallas, Texas. He was a fan of Joyce Meyer. And he goes up and he talks to her and they're joshing up, having a good time. And he says, what do you do, How do you respond to like those people who come up and tell you, they use Bible verses about how you shouldn't be a pastor because you're a woman? And she goes, well, I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 passages in the Bible that say that. He practically crapped his pants. Changed his life forever. He's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if he burned all of her books or what. But the point is, That ain't an argument, man. That ain't an argument. Now, if she wants to say, well, I just don't believe in that anymore. Well, it's weird because that's kind of the same guy that came up with the concept, or in our codified scripture, right, that we have. Most of the details about what a pastor is or what a pastor does is from that exact same person. So you're just, again, the left has this problem playing Mr. Potato Head with everything. I like a little bit over here. I like a little bit over there. And why even go to her if she's just pick and choose, lady? If she's just the lady playing Mr. Potato Head every day with the Bible, why would you even go to her church? What's the point? Oh, unless you're an OnlyFan. Sickos. Sick perverts. Nicole Mitchell. And honestly, pray for the salvation of her soul. She's multiple levels of wickedness. And this is obviously a show that is meant to inform and entertain, but the truth is, at the bottom of all of this is that people, not only is our world on fire, but it's on fire because people are on fire in a bad, bad way. They are destined to fire in a bad, bad way. But by the grace of God, Nicole Mitchell was raised as a Baptist and given a holy life by her parents. Nevertheless, she always felt the need to spread her legs for cash. Quote, I was indoctrinated to believe my desires in my body were innately sinful and bad, she told the New York Post. I was taught that women aren't allowed to lead. It depends on what you mean. And allowed or fit. And that women belong in the kitchen. See, I think that's such a sad thing to say that. And with the children. What, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be with my kids. Yes, lady, it's demoniac stuff, man. These people really do hate children. Which, look, it's one of those things that God has put in place that when people sin like this and become so self-oriented and they begin loathing children and maximizing self-pleasure and they maximize the moment, they begin getting rid of things like delayed gratification, which again is part of all those slides regarding whiteness that I've talked about many times on the show. Delayed gratification. And they get rid of it. So they don't want delayed gratification. They want to be able to murder kids. They want to be able to use contraception to live a long life of loneliness, dying by themselves on a bed, to engage in sexual activities that even if you weren't using contraception are of such a nature that they're not reproductive. I think we all know where I'm going with that. So they're all for it. But that's why they have to be so authoritarian. That's why they have to try their darndest to force everybody to believe what they believe. And they have to use mechanisms of power to do it. Because they suck at this. Because their system is not transgenerational. It can be trans a lot of crap, but it's not trans the good stuff. Like transgenerational, meaning that it will live on beyond you. And the only way that they can try to make that happen is by power with politics. That's it. And on a political, legal level, why they use manipulation of large institutions, like big tech, for example, corporation stuff. Because then it's held by power, not by persuasion. Yeah, how else would they do it? But here's the thing. If they do all that, they're going to die. And when they die, they haven't even reproduced enough to replace themselves, much less at a degree that system can continue going. That's a judgment of God, by the way. That's an assurance to believers and people who obey and people who make children and continue to pass on the traditions, that when you do that, you can go through really, really, really hard times. But the truth is, you're not aborting yourself and your position out of existence. I had somebody tell me yesterday, I shouldn't be very afraid. Said that if I'm a Christian, I shouldn't be afraid. I thought you were a Christian. I'm starting to think this person was doing this weird passive-aggressive kind of thing with me. I don't even know if she's a Christian. I think it's one of those, I thought you were this. I think you'd be better off if you just didn't talk about the things that I talk about. I wonder. Because at the end of the day, that's if somebody starts to believe in abortion, and if somebody starts to believe in all the LGBTQ forever, ever, ever, a bunch of more letters, and you start believing in the idea of contraception, and you start opposing the nuclear family, you want to do all that, go ahead, perfectly fine. But the thing is, you will then result in being this wild-eyed social justice warrior because you have to. It's the only way that you will continue. You are suicidal to a self-loathing, suicidal maniac to an astounding degree. But at the end of the day, there's part of you that knows that when you're gone, unless you've somehow grabbed a hold of the power structure, that the people like us shall rise. You know it. It keeps you up at night, don't it? Keeps you up at night. It should. Because we are ascending. We are, just statistically speaking, we are ascending, man. There's a reason why large groups, people don't study groups enough, man. They don't. They think free riders will win. Superstructures win. Self-replicating superstructures win. So religions that sit there and say, make more children like yourselves, raise them in the fear of the Lord, those ones shall win. It's God's design. It's God's will. Mitchell's encouraging other women to reject traditionalism. Yeah. She goes, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm straight. Oh, okay. Yeah, even worse. And it rocked my world. I knew if I revealed my queerness, I would lose it all because the church is not welcoming to queer people. Look at her eyes. She'd be pretty if she wasn't so possessed. After she betrayed Christ, she started posting video blogs about how liberating it is to be an unrepentant sinner and an apostate. She believes that being a whore has made her feel holy, showing what a depraved, soulless wretch she is to her inner core. She said, quote, I cried because I had never felt more holy and sacred in my life. I never felt more sexy and liberated than I did then. When she's talking about making videos for people. Every person has the right to express themselves in whatever way feels good to them. And this is how it feels good to me. That is seriously the dumbest and most dangerous ethical and sexual philosophy you could possibly have. Because every person has a right to express themselves in whatever way, including boning babies, feels good to them. And this is how it feels good to me. She's going to have to put an asterisk there because she'll say, I don't mean, doing little babies. Oh, so you have a standard too. Well, do tell. You're infringing on what someone else says feels good, like the dude putting the Winky Doodle in a mason jar of worms and stuff. Sick people, man. Sick people. But so it sounds good. It's like whoever, love is love. So if a person says they love horses, well, I don't mean that. I mean, you know what I mean. No, I don't. Because as soon as we start to break down what you mean, the more I realize and you realize that your ethical philosophy sucks. And it's dangerous, man. It is dangerous. It's bumper sticker nonsense. And it's leading our world to hell. So she was giving this incredible gift of healing to people, and it blessed them, her only videos. I'll save the rest for tomorrow. Well, real quickly, real fast. Let's see here. Memes. Boom. Oh, I better hold on. I don't want to just do the memes. I gotta get up to the. And these are fun. These are not all political. Okay. Because I don't want to just be like political 24/7. There we go. But look at this. And if you've got memes, remember, Paleocrat Diaries at gmail.com. Of course, if you'd like to support the show, you can go to paleocratdiaries.com. You can go ahead and do that. We have a members program. We also have stuff to do with speeches and debates and interviews and all that stuff. So a whole bunch of fun. And I also have Cash App. Because people have asked me, they're like, well, how can I donate to your show? Are there super chats? You have to actually go to HFM American Media on YouTube. I don't know if the URL is still the same. Is it Holy Faith TV 1? Yeah. Mine doesn't have it yet. And that's the thing. Please make sure, if you enjoy this, go to youtube.com/Paleocrat. Subscribe. Because the more that I'm able to get on my own personal channel, I appreciate it going all over the place. But, if I don't have a certain number on my own personal channel, it's a bummer, right? It actually results in a lot of things that limit my ability to not only continue doing this, but doing it in a way that's productive to help my family to continue going to school. Because 100% of the money that I make through Paleocrat Diaries, 100% goes toward my children's classical education at Sacred Heart Academy. All right. Communism, capitalism, traditionalism. Yeah, there's some truth to this, by the way. There's some truth to that. That's a pretty picture. Look at this. Look at traditionalism. Yeah. It's going to be free market, though. In Texas, Democrats put up a billboard. 48 hours later, someone epically bought the space below it. Classic. In this nightmare, vote Democratic. Just kidding. Vote Trump 2020. That's so great. Actually, someone who follows the show named Ashley. I believe that this came from her wall. Want to give a shout out, Ashley. You're good. Real good. 2020 presidential debates. Yeah, but see, he's got to be hooked up to something different. I mean, this is funny. He's getting the Adderall and everything else. But the thing is, man, it wasn't. It was some robotic junk to help him do even a mediocre job. And this is why women live longer than men. What are they doing? It looks like there's some wiring going on here. Yeah, dude, that's pretty dumb. Just a little something to take the edge off. Oh, come on. See, I wanted to be able to include some of this stuff. That says, oh, okay, maybe not so serious. That was the mission, to say, look, give me some memes. It's not going to be so serious. Although that is serious business right there. That would take a serious amount of effort to do that. Look at this. When you feel someone looking at you and you want to check without making it obvious. Dude, can you do that with your eyeball? Can any of you do that? I have tried to do that. I can't do it. I struggle to even make my eyes go cross-eyed. I know people who can do that very easily. I know people who can make their eyes go up, kind of like The Undertaker on WWE. Some of the most dangerous roads in the world. Oh, where are these? Oh my gosh, look at that rock. I've been on roads like that. Rainbow Road. Okay. Yeah, man. I got you. Dude, that is very, very dangerous, man. That's the most dangerous one in the world. Rainbow Road. I'm pretty good at that, by the way. I'm pretty good. Pretty good at that game. If that's, yeah. Oh. But I've been on a road like that, man, Colorado. Way up in the mountains. And it was nighttime, and there was snow, and there were no railings, man. Okay, the word search here. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, swish. Trash. I thought it said start. It said shart. Oh, yeah, man. Whoever that little kid is awesome. Yeah, shart. Yeah. You know what that means. Oh. What if they're not into stars? What if, what if they're not stars? What if they're holes poked into a top of a container so we can breathe? Snoopy goes, "Can I buy some weed from you?" Yeah. Yeah, I showed those earlier. Is this a true story? I saw this floating around. Is this real? De Blasio officially orders all police and citizens to stop sharing and booking photo of his daughter caught up in rioting. Look at those eyes. Those are those eyes I was talking about. The feminista eyes. Ugh. You can tell you're dealing with a feminist when they can do this. Ugh. You know it. Hold on. We got to look at this one. Hold on. Check this out. Yeah. What is this? Savox? See, this is actually even a small instance of it. You can see video now where the cord, the wire is very long. It is definitely a wire. And look, right here, this thing sticking up in his arm like that. It's not only there, it's on the other side as well. Just say you hate white people. No. Standing by, sir. Okay, yeah, here's a great example. Proud Boys. Proud of your boy. Proud of my boys. Big time. Thank you for sharing my stuff, by the way, fellas. The worst, allegedly, white nationalist fraternity you'll ever encounter. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because it's not a white nationalist fraternity. Which, of course, is the point of the joke. I got this. It might be hard to read, though. This right here was given to me by Adam, friend of mine, Adam Heikela. We had a great conversation yesterday. We're gonna meet up and talk. We're gonna have a good time. But this right here, apparently there was this video and there are these people in the comment thread just going off, and they agree with each other. It was a hilarious example of the left eating itself alive. These are charts. White supremacists are the biggest threat. I'd have to zoom in better. I should share this one in a separate thing. That way we can see what the breakdown is, because these are official statistics. And let's just say that the blue. Let's see here. Yeah, so you've got all different groups, interracial attacks. Yeah, white nationalists. Good luck. Nice try. Nice try, Deep State. Ain't buying that. Come on, Kim Jong-un. Oh, sweet. Ruth Bader. Oh, really? Oh, no. I'm going to get hate for this, man. I'm going to get hate for this. I'm here to traffic cocaine. Do you guys even know about that whole cocaine Mitch thing? And confirm Supreme Court justices. And I'm all out of cocaine. Yeah. Pink news. Just a reminder that Republican lawmakers want to make child drag shows illegal. But yeah, okay, I'm down. Yep, I'm down with that. Sexualizing children, putting money in their little clothes. You guys are perverts, man. You want to be in the panties of little kids. And to say it this way, you would like nothing more than to be in the panties of a little boy who you've convinced might be a girl. Or he should at least dress up like one. Sickos, man. Look, we need to revisit the DSM. I am so sorry to say this. We need to revisit that. Needs to go back. The debate is proof that professionalism is a myth rooted in white supremacy. Yes, professionalism is a realm of white supremacy. It was made up to intimidate black people into the workforce. These people are real, man. Just call white people terrorists already, Mr. President. Of course, the Babylon Bee, love it. And you can, again, share these things with me. I love it, man. These are really great. Cutting out the middleman, Dems will just have Trump debate Biden's teleprompter directly. I'm right here at the end. We're done. Stephen Colbert drags Trump for refusing to condemn the Proud Boys. Quote, one of the most telling, one of the most upsetting moments, not only of the night, but of my lifetime. Dude, your life sucks then. Your life sucks. And I'm sorry to put it this way. People would say, well, don't you mean that your life is great? No, his life sucks that he hasn't actually experienced things worse than that. It's like somebody saying, you are probably not a good writer if you don't have any downvotes. If you don't have any haters, it's because you're not good enough to be hated. Man, I got people calling me. It's hilarious. I got people calling me that I've tagged in shows to tell them that I'm on every single day. They ain't watching. I know you. I got your name. You're on my dial. You know who you are. Well, no, because you're not watching. Jerk. But his life must just really suck. If that was literally one of the most upsetting moments of his entire life, nobody even believes this guy anymore. He's not even funny anymore. He's not even funny. None of these people, we have learned, if nothing else, we have learned that all these self-important people, these fat cats in Hollywood, all these people are actually kind of losers. They don't have the glitz and the glamour anymore to hype it up. It's gone. We've seen them as emperors without clothes. We've seen them doing their YouTube channels and how terrible they are. Not just the content, but the quality of their character. They're all just fake. They just know how to present something that's not real. This guy is a joker. Nobody should believe him. No one should even take him seriously. He really is a joker. And he's not even good at that anymore. Killed his own career. What a sad, sad thing. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining the show. Very, very grateful for everything. Okay? It's been a fun time. Make sure I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. I'll try to keep it 10 a.m. to noon. If I start early, okay, I may end up going a little bit late like I have today. It's 12:15 right now. But make sure if you would like to know more about what we do here and how you can support the show, we appreciate all of it. It helps us send our kids to private school. It is a sacrifice, and it's the reason why I started making videos again after many years. You can hear that story on my YouTube channel, but specifically by going to paleocratdiaries.com. You can become a subscriber. It's entirely free. We have a membership program as well. It's like $5. Not very much. But, you do what you can do. If it's sharing, that's all that matters to me. If it's tuning in and commenting, I absolutely love it. I'm an easygoing guy. Okay? But we won't turn down money either. It always helps, every single bit. For interviews and speeches and other inquiries, contact paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. I'd love to network with you. I'd love to maybe collaborate and do some cool stuff. I think we'd have a really good time. And, of course, check out my work with Paleo Cheese Podcast. It's a great podcast about books and movies and reaction videos. And now we're just talking about whatever we want, okay? Music and everything. We even talked about food and cologne. Had a blast. Sometimes ethics, right? Like, should you blow away a person, an intruder into your home, or should you try to de-escalate and say, hey, look, get out of my house? Or should you just put a cap in them? We had a good debate over that. There's a lot of, just a really great time. And, of course, Meaning of Catholic, in 8 days, on October 9th, I'm going to be engaging in a very awesome discussion with Timothy Flanders. And we're going to be talking about whether or not people should vote for Trump. I'm taking the affirmative. He is going to take the position that you can vote for third parties or somebody other than Donald Trump, or maybe even just not vote at all. So it's going to be just a rip and roaring good time. So make sure to check that out. Subscribe all over the place. We're grateful. We're grateful for every single thing, every single day. I'll see you tomorrow again, 10 in the morning. Until next time, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace.
this causes a backlash. People get ticked off.
The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.